Welcome to AboutFACE Theatre presents 5 Questions With, and today's guest, actor Richard Topol. Richard has worked on Broadway 9 times, including working with people such as Denzel Washington, Al Pacino, and Mark Ruffalo, among others, and as well as playing the role of Lemml in the Tony Award-winning production of Indecent. Off-Broadway, he has worked at theaters such as Lincoln Center, Manhattan Theatre Club, Signature, and public theaters Shakespeare in the Park. While on screen, his many credits include playing opposite Geoffrey Rush in Genius Einstein, with Larry David in Curb Your Enthusiasm, and opposite Daniel Day-Lewis in Steven Spielberg's Lincoln. Richard, you're very welcome.
Wow, hello. It's nice to be here, and thank you. That makes me sound like I've actually had a little bit of a career, which I feel good about.
Yeah, you should.
Now that I'm a graybeard.
You've earned those hairs.
Right. Whatever hair is left, yeah.
So, Richard, we're going to start with at the beginning. What play or experience first got you into theater?
Wow, that's the very big. So that's the 20th century for those of you who watch. Gosh. I mean, I feel like can I have 2 answers to that? Or it's actually 2 parts and maybe 4 answers. I had a really great English teacher in 8th grade named Dee O'Brien, and she was fabulous. And she always did a production of a Shakespeare play with the students. And we did a production of the Scottish play. I guess, am I allowed to say what? Yeah, I can say Macbeth. We're on Zoom.
You can say it. It's not the theater,
Zoom.
right? Yeah. It feels dangerous, though.
Feels weird.
I'm scared.
A little bit like and I got to play the drunken porter.
Oh, nice.
I had a really, really good time. I mean, I was in 8th grade, so maybe I was 13. I don't think I'd gotten drunk yet in my life, but it was fun to pretend to be drunk. And we did it in this small professional theater, actually, in the town where I grew up, in Mamaroneck, in Westchester County, New York. And she was great, and she made the language feel magical and special and exciting. And I got to do this fun part, and like I climbed down from the rafters onto the stage, and it's a fun part, and it's not much of a part, but it was fun and funny, and I made a lot of people laugh, and it was really kind of exciting. And I was like, oh, this is really interesting, a great crazy story, and it was really fun to act and do something that thrilled people.
Yeah.
And jump cut to, I don't know, 7 years later when I was in college, because I did lots of plays when I was young, but I didn't really think that that's what I would do with my life. That's not what people in my family did. And I thought, I had other interests. And I got to college, and a couple years into college, I fell in love with a woman who knew she wanted to be an actor and was in love with the theater. And because I fell in love with her, I also fell in love with the theater because of that. And we got to do a production, which was, I guess, my first professional production of Hair. I was at college in Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island, and they did a production there that I was not in, that was so successful that professional producers wanted to produce it and they took it to the Hasty Pudding Theater in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And we did it all summer, and it was such a big hit. We did it all fall, and we commuted, like we got in a van after classes and drove up and did the show, and it was so much fun. And I mean, Hair, when you're 20 years old and you're doing this production of Hair, and people are loving it, and it's very, you feel like you were doing, again, something magical that thrilled people and was really exciting to do. And I failed almost all my classes that semester, but I realized that I wanted to be an actor. And moments after that, my girlfriend and my mom took us to see the Broadway production of Othello that was running at the time, with James Earl Jones and Diane Wiest and Christopher Plummer, who was amazing as Iago. And I was like, oh, okay, I want to do this. I want to do this. This is, if I could be 1/10 as amazing as these people are being, I would love my life. I would love doing this for my life. So that's the long-winded version of how I got into, being in the theater and loving it.
That's fantastic.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, Rich. So talking about the influences from Scottish play to Hair and then Othello. But what's a great play that you love and why?
A great play that I love and why. Can I pick two?
Yes.
All right.
Oh.
I will only pick one. I'll pick one. Angels in America. I love, to me, if a play is good, I want it to keep going. So the fact that it's like 3 hours long or then two parts and it's like five, that to me, that's like a sign of a great play. Like I've done a lot of 90-minute plays. And I mean, you referenced one of them, Indecent, which was a lovely play, but I want it to keep going. When I'm in the theater and I see a show that I'm transformed by and mesmerized by, I don't want it to ever stop. And so Angels, to me, I've seen a lot of productions. I've always loved it. It's epic, but it's personal. And what Tony Kushner did, and I've had the lucky pleasure to be in a couple of his plays, and in fact, he wrote the screenplay for Lincoln, and is that he did a really masterful job of weaving the personal and the political together. And it's stupid and kind of corny to say, but you kind of, I'm one of those actors who feel like I keep looking at you guys in the Zoom, and then I'm going to look at you, not at the green light. Sorry. I want to make a difference, right? I want the work that I do to make a difference in the world. And and Tony, he's a difference maker, and so the ability, his brilliance at weaving together these personal stories with the larger political reverberating themes of the day that still reverberate and will reverberate for decades and maybe centuries, hopefully, to me, makes it my top choice. My second choice, if I'm allowed to say, is August Osage County, because it's also epic and goes on forever and is really personal and really large at the same time.
Yeah, it's a great one.
I can remember dancing in the aisles during the second intermission of August Osage County, going, "I can't wait for the third act to start."
Right. Like, we get another act. act. Yeah.
Excellent. So can you tell us about a time in your theatrical life where things turned out differently than you expected them to?
Yes, I can. Hold on.
The end.
This moment right now. Okay. I was doing this production of Indecent, written by Paula Vogel, directed by Rebecca Teichman. And we had done it, we had been working on it for years, actually, really. We did it at Yale, it premiered there, and we did it at La Jolla, and then we did it months later at the Vineyard Theater. And we thought, okay, that's the end of it. That's the way it goes, right? You do shows and they're done. And Daryl Roth, who is a producer that I'd worked with before, on Larry Kramer's play, The Normal Heart, on the Broadway. It's a great producer. Love her. She's visionary and determined. She decided, okay, I'm gonna move this play to Broadway. And so it didn't go the way I expected.
Yeah.
And I hoped that it would go that way, and it did go that way, and it deserved to. I think it was a really great, really interesting piece of theater that deserved to be seen by as many people as possible. So this is what was unexpected. So we rehearsed the play again. We opened it on Broadway. We got well received, I would say, and I can't imagine being a Broadway producer. I don't know how you make something work and survive on Broadway, but the play got lots of Tony nominations, and like you say, it won a couple of Tony Awards. And I thought, oh, this play is going to run for a while. Everybody seems to love it. Everybody's like, wow, haven't seen a piece of theater like this in ever. I can't wait to tell everybody I know to come see it. You know, and so you mostly believe people when they say that, but when strangers tell you that, you're like, oh, okay, okay, great, this is good. I mean, I think it's good, even if it's only 95 minutes. It's only one act. And so I thought, oh, great. It got a lot of exposure on the Tony Awards, critical acclaim, word of mouth. We're going to run. Maybe we'll run. I mean, plays don't run that long on Broadway unless there's somebody famous in it. And Katrina Lenk had not yet won a Tony Award at the time. And so I thought, oh, maybe we'll run 6 months. And a week later, Daryl posted the closing notice. She was like, came to us and said, listen, I'm sorry. You know, I'm heartbroken to tell you this, but we just can't. We can't keep the show running. We're just not. We haven't found a way to make enough. We can't keep losing this kind of money. And that was heartbreaking. And because for me, I mean, I've as you said, I've been in a bunch of Broadway shows, but I'm always like the third guy from the left. Which I think is going to be if I'm never going to write an autobiography, but that's what it'll be called. But in this show, I was sort of like, I was either the first guy from the left, or I was actually maybe the guy, or I was like, you know, I mean, it was a great role. It was the best role that I'd had on Broadway, and so I was a little heartbroken because I wanted to be able to do that. And so, you know, that was disappointing. And when that was announced, something unexpected happened, which is people started being like, wait. I thought I had a lot of time to see that show. And people started flocking to the theater in the, I think it was maybe a week and a half, where from when we were going to close in 2 weeks. And so all of a sudden people were like, oh, wait, I had heard that I'm supposed to see that show. I can't see it. And so 4 days before we were going to close, Daryl came backstage and gathered us before the show, and she said, come with me. And she walked us into the staircase up to the dressing rooms, and there was the closing notice posted there. She took the closing notice, she unpinned it from the board, and she took it and she tore it up, and she said, we're going to keep running. And that was totally unexpected. We were like, wait, my heart had already open, and I was like, you know, sad and not ready to move on, but, you know, I'd given up. And it was super exciting to be like, oh, wait, it's like life support, and we're not dead, we're alive again. And, you know, I mean, we didn't run forever after that. We ran another 6 or 7 weeks. It wasn't like forever, but it was a significant chunk of time. And so that was sort of unexpected and magical. And then she said, would you do us a favor? Would you, at the curtain call, tell the audience this, because it's Thursday night and we're closing on Sunday, and so we have 0 tickets sold for next Tuesday. Like 4 days, like we have 0 tickets sold because, of course, we're so we need all the help we can get. So it's like, oh, okay, yeah. So ended. We do the curtain call, and then I was like, and this was, I was like, I'm not this kind of person, you know. I'm pretty shy, actually, when it comes to like in public. And I was like, hey, could I just want to let you guys know something. And then I gave a little speech about what had just happened, and how if they like the show, if they could please tell everybody they know to buy tickets for Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, because if we're going to stay open for a while, it would be good if we had people in the audience. So that was a great unexpected thing that happened in my life in the theater. Didn't quite go the way I expected, but maybe in some ways better.
Yeah. And you had people on Tuesday?
We had a lot of people on Tuesday. Yeah, we had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. We had more people on Tuesday than we probably had. No, that night we were the last week we were full because people were like, "Oh, it's the last chance." We had lots of people. Yeah.
Yay, that's great. Cool. Okay, so Rich, you've worked lots of the off-Broadway theaters, you've done a bunch of Broadway shows, and you've also done loads of screen work as well. So what is it that keeps you coming back to the theater? What moves you? What excites you about theater?
I love being in a room with other people, either on either side of the stage, either being in the audience, being transformed by people right there with you, making you believe a story that is almost always moving and funny and makes me feel different when I walk out of the theater, or it makes me, or reminds me of things that I've forgotten, or it gives me a new lease on life, or a bounce in my step, or something, or if it's a dark or heartbreaking thing, it connects me to myself in a way that the way we live lives, it's easy to get disconnected from ourselves. I mean, for some people, obviously, for people who do lots of yoga and meditation, people are more connected than I am. But and I love to do that too. So I love being, if I'm in the audience, I love it that way. If I'm on the stage, I love knowing that we're together in this room right now, and the thing that I did made you laugh or cry or recognize something about yourself, that and that actual connection that happens, that you feel in a theater space, that's not the same as when you're watching a movie or doing a movie or a TV show. I just love that. I mean, I love a great story well told, but it's the magic of everybody being in the same room while it's being told that I just love that. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know whether it's like I want to suspend my disbelief. I want to believe in alternate universes, or I love seeing secrets revealed, or the truth being told in a way that's hard to get at in real life. And when somebody can write so well that it makes you think things you'd never think, or reminds you things that you deeply forget, right there together, with a bunch of strangers. I don't know, that sounds corny, but
No.
It makes me just it connects me to like the inner child. And maybe in some way, no, I'll just say that.
Oh, now you got
okay.
That secret reveal thing, that connection.
I was just going to say that there's something about that moment that suspends life, that connects you to something that's beyond mortality. And I don't know if that's true or it doesn't sound quite right, but something like that feels like we're just all connected beyond, outside of ourselves.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely. Connects you to something bigger, beyond. Yeah.
It's a different version of the feeling I feel like when I'm on the top of a mountain.
Yes.
And you see the world and you feel small, but you feel connected to the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's a different version of that for me.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. Yeah. So on the smaller scale, no, maybe not, but like, is there anything like, as far as tools from theater that you've learned that you have found useful in the rest of your life, your non-theater?
I will tell you, I don't think so. There are tools that I have found that I've been reminded by many people in my real life that I don't actually use in real life, that it would be good if I did. And they're great tools to have, and someday I will learn to put them in my real life. But like, I find that I'm a really, really good listener on stage. And I have a really deep well of empathy on stage. And someday when we talk again, I will have figured out a way to have them be part of my real life in a way that the people around me will appreciate. I try. But so no, I don't think there are any skills that I have found from the theater that I've been able to access in my life.
Thank God Richard spent so much time on stage then.
Yeah. I mean, I've had a lot of time to learn those things on stage and rehearsal, and someday they will be part of my real life. Uh,
That's fantastic.
Well, this has been so great, Rich. Just as a bonus question, can you tell us anything about what you're working on at the moment?
I can, yeah, and actually, there's a couple of really exciting things that I'm working on at the moment that I will tell you about. That I will. Uh, that made me cry laughing about how much of a loser I am in life.
But you're not. I don't fully believe you. But you know.
I am working on two really, really exciting theater projects right now. I mean, after this long desert of emptiness, of no theater, I just found out that I've, like a bunch of people I know have taken the time in this pandemic to, I don't know, learn German or do lots of home repairs or whatever it is. And I was like, I didn't really do anything, but I did do a thing, which is I spent a lot of time working on this one person show that I've been developing with the playwright Willie Holtzman. And we just did a workshop of it last month, live on a stage with a masked audience, socially distant in the theater, me on a stage. We did a presentation of it last month at Portland Stage Company in Maine, and it went so well that they asked if they want to produce it in their season. So I'm going to go into rehearsal for that in October and do that in November, and it's super exciting. It's actually a really interesting piece. Well, that's I guess I should say that. Yeah, it's really interesting. I hope that it's a really interesting piece about my search for a father to replace the father that I lost. My father died when I was 12, and I've always spent most of my adult life searching for a father surrogate, and I found one in my father-in-law, Lucas Foss, who was a renowned composer and conductor and pianist. And so it's a lot about him and his music and his artistry and my relationship to him. So that's happening. And then right after that, I get to be in one of those epic 3-hour-long plays. This is a play written by Joshua Harmon, who had Significant Other on Broadway and wrote Admissions and Bad Jews, and is directed by David Cromer, who is just a brilliant director who I got to work with at Lincoln Center. And it's called Prayer for the French Republic, and it's going to be at Manhattan Theater Club starting in January. So I have this summer vacation, and then I do these great two really interesting theater projects back to back until next spring.
Fantastic.
So I'm super excited for that. It's I have to say this, the Prayer for the French Republic is one of the best plays I've read in the last 10 years. I mean, it's just, it's right. It leans into my favorite kinds of theater. So
lovely.
So I'm crossing my fingers. Crossing my fingers that other people will think so too, because I'm really excited about it. So yeah. So
that's so exciting.
Yeah, super exciting. Yeah, to be back in theaters live with people doing things that transform the world or make people laugh or smile or cry or hold their lovers more tightly at night, whatever it is.
So it shows it just can't be replaced by anything else. It's got its own worth, its own value. It's our need to have that experience, like you were talking about. I mean, that's.
I just want to grab you through this stupid screen. Right?
I know.
Yeah.
Well, Richard, thank you so very much for joining us.
Totally.
Today.
It was a pleasure talking with you guys. Across the Atlantic Sea. Come back.
I know. We will soon. And a huge thank you to you, our audience, too, for joining us. And if you enjoyed the interview, please like below and follow AboutFACE and share, because we believe theater makes life better. See you next time on AboutFACE Theater presents 5 Questions With.
If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe to us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, and share. Thanks for watching.